What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. My name is Carrie, and today we're going to be talking about a notebook, another notebook. But for the first time ever, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. This is the weirdest thing. So thank you to Endlist for sending this to me. They sent this to me free of charge. I did not get paid for this review, so all opinions expressed are my own. And I have some opinions, some great ones, some not so great ones. But basically I was confused. I didn't know if what I had was the actual notebook itself. Turns out it is. And for the first time ever, I got a reaction from paper that I was not expecting at all. So, join me in my confusion. And let's take a look at this notebook. So this is how the notebook arrived to me. There was plastic wrap over top of this, but this is what it came. So hardcover notebook, lays flat, ink loving regalia paper. I really like the gold design on here. Dotted, endless, and then all of the goods on the back. So iconic regalia paper, 80 GSM acid free, dotted, table of content, 187 numbered pages, page marker, 8.2 by 5.8 inches. So basically an A5, lays flat from day one. Loves ink, zero bleeding, acid free smooth paper, hardcover, lies flat, and then their contact information. So my very first thought when getting it out of here was that it's very hard. It's very difficult to take this sleeve off. Like, it's not easy. In fact, I'm still struggling. Struggling actually real hard. But this is the reality. It's very tight. And I think it's too tight. And you'll see in a minute. Oh my goodness. There we go. Finally. You'll see in a minute why. So it's just basically all black on both sides. There's two different colors that you can get, and then it has like endless on the back here. My very first thought when I opened this up was, is it finished? It came a little kind of rumpled at the top here, probably from being inside of this. And I looked and I was like, what? This doesn't look finished to me. Like, it's just open cardboard on the actual binding of the notebook. And I don't care for it, to be fair. I'll move it out a little bit so that it focuses. It looks unfinished to me, and I know that this is the finished product, even though this is a sample notebook, because people are selling it now, and this is how it looks. So I don't care for it. I really don't. I think their regular line notebooks look immaculate, and this just looks unfinished to me. Now, I understand why they didn't put the hardcover over the binding, because that is what, this is the very back. That's what allows it to lie flat. And I will give it that. Obviously I haven't broken in this part here, but it does lie flat pretty much no matter where you are in the notebook from day one. So I will give them that. They are 100% accurate on that. It does lie flat. And that is why there's no hardcover over the binding in the middle, so that it does lie flat. But it just means that it kind of looks ratty to me. And Endless, I love you so much. Your paper is dynamite. Your other journals that I've reviewed, I 10 out of 10 recommend. I'm obsessed with your creative block. But this just, it doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't like the look of it. It just, it seems unfinished to me. Opening up the notebook, you come to just kind of the title page here. And then you come to table of contents. And this surprised me, you guys. Like, this is the first time I tried a notebook where I was like, oh dang, oh no, oh no. Because I'm pretty familiar now with the Regalia paper. I like it quite a bit. And so when I decided to do a test page, it failed every expectation that I had. With a swab, a Q-tip, I put down ink test time, and that was with Diamine Polar Glow. And you can see here, it feathered like absolute crazy. Now, granted, this was like a pool of ink. But even when I wrote with the Retro 51, it did the same thing. It doesn't give me as much shading as it used to. It was fine with TWSBI. But when I flipped over the page, it bled through, which it's not supposed to do. And when I wrote with my TWSBI 580, it even bled through here. So I was very disappointed. I was very surprised. But then I thought to myself, okay, don't judge yet. You know the Regalia paper. You've used other Regalia paper journals from Endless and you loved it. You're obsessed with the Creative Block and you loved it, and you've done the same level of testing with that much ink before and it's handled it like a champ. So maybe it's just the table of contents. So I did it again with the same ink, Diamine Polar Glow, same level of crazy like drippage of it with the Q-tip. And I wrote the exact same. Now this here was a thread or something got in between my tines. So that's not any, come on camera. That's not any fault of the paper. That was an actual like little thing that got stuck in my nib. So don't blame that on the paper. That was the nib's fault. So I did the exact same thing on this page, which is their regular page. And that performed more like I was expecting. It did still bleed through when I wrote ink, but guys, this is like the level of ink that I put on here, I literally like it would be the equivalent of pouring it. And I just did like a little writing test on here, being like, hey, could I use it on both sides? And you totally can, because I wrote over top of the other ink that I used here, the regular writing, and yeah, you can barely see it. The paper is really great for not showing as much ghosting. So it did still bleed through, but I mean, you're not ever going to use that much ink. So, but it didn't bleed through to the next page like it did off of the table and contents. And as I wrote in the actual pages, it performed like I was expecting. So this is what it looks like on the other side here. The camera does actually show a little bit more show through than I can see with my own eyes in this lighting in real life, but it's really good. And it does show pretty nice shading here. I'm going to put on a harsh light here just so it shows the shading a little bit more. But it does, this is got some nice shading. I can see it way more in real life than what the camera will pick up, but it does show really nice shading. And it does do a really good job. No feathering on this regular paper. Again, this all has some crazy shading, but the camera is just turning that color flat. So take that with a grain of salt with how you will. But it does shade very, very nicely. It does show sheen very nicely. And it does handle shimmer as well. And with this light on, again, it makes the show through a little bit worse than what it actually is. But there's no bleeding, no ghosting, nothing onto the next page. You do get a ribbon marker. This one is kind of like a shimmery gold ribbon marker. So that's nice. And it will go pretty much anywhere. I do enjoy the fact that their pages are numbered. I like that quite a bit. And then in the back of the notebook, it's just blank. There's absolutely nothing there but a little bit of craft paper. So you don't get like an envelope or anything in the back. But yeah. So if you've watched anything else that I've done of this notebook or this brand by Endless, you'll know that I pretty much always recommend their notebooks because their paper is really, really great. This Regalia paper, like I say a lot, is sort of in between a Tomoe River and a Rhodia / Clairefontaine, where you get a lot of the same qualities that you would get from a Tomoe, in the sense that it does shade really well, shows sheen really well. It doesn't typically do this. But you have a little bit more of a coating on the paper. You have a little bit more resistance on the paper like you do with a Rhodia, but not so much. Rhodia has like an incredible amount of drag on the paper because that coating is so thick, whereas this is sort of like sits nicely in between. So I do recommend this paper. I do recommend this company. I don't love this notebook. I appreciate their attempt to make a hardcover notebook, but to be fair, like their other Endless journals are fairly hardcover as well. And this one just doesn't do it for me because it just doesn't look finished, doesn't look polished. Now that said, if you're super rough and tumble on their notebooks, then yeah, it might be worth getting something like this just so that you can be really rough on your notebook, and it shouldn't, fall apart or anything. Their quality is usually very, very good. But yeah, the table of contents shocked me how terrible that performed. I did not see that come in at all. But their actual regular paper performed the way that it should. What I would recommend personally, if you've never used anything from Endless and you want to check out what their paper's like, get one of their creative blocks. It's literally just a block of paper that, you just write on whatever, you rip it off and you party. But these are not very expensive, and once you use this paper, you will know exactly what to expect in every one of their journals, and it's not as expensive as any of their journals. So this is, I think, a great entry point into the Endless brand. 10 out of 10, I do recommend this. I actually featured this in my top 5 accessories of 2022 video because I adore it. And I'm obsessed with it. And I love their other journals that they've done. And I do plan on using this one since it's here. They did send this to me. They're not paying me to make this video. They're not paying me to say anything positive or negative about it. They just sent it to me free of cost. And I mean, yeah, this notebook, I don't know, guys, like their paper. Yes, I recommend their paper. Like I said, once you get into the meat of the notebook, you get away from this. I don't like the unfinished look. The rough and tumble look. But as with anything appearance, that is subjective. So you guys may be totally fine. If you sticker, like if I put like stickers all over this, I think that it would be pretty cool. And I would put it over the binding to kind of cover up the rough edges of the notebook. But yeah, one of the biggest complaints with a lot of notebooks is that they don't lie flat, and this one certainly does. But those are my thoughts. At the end of the day, do I recommend it? Yeah, sure. Like I said, I don't love the look of this notebook, but their paper quality, like I said, I do recommend. And obviously, yeah, check out their creative block if you want to try out the brand. But those are my overall thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section below if you've used Endless and their Regalia paper, what you thought about it, so that we can get more opinions than just mine, so that if anyone is actually looking into buying one of these and spending their hard-earned cash on it, they have more opinions than just mine, because one opinion is just one opinion. But guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've been staring at my thumb this entire time, I do have ink stains on it. It came from my 2022 ink collection video. But yeah, like this video, hit the subscribe, check out the description if you want to check out my Discord or Patreon account and help support me in what I do on this channel. But as always, if you're still watching this far in, you are the reason I make these videos. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. Just kidding, that's the beginning. It is time for our Patreon crew shoutout. This was filmed as of December 1st, so if you don't see your name, don't fret. I will update it as soon as I possibly can. My two ultimate humans, Daniel Rodney and Comp Dave, and all my VIPs, Susan, McCall Bennett Lawrence, Karen Epstein, Gretchen Peters, Carol Lowry, Michael Simon, Subi1 Kenobi, Catherine Molina, Weilei Chang, Brian Law, Bill Pemberton, Lucas Bell, Robert Myers, Marissa Calvo, Eric Lineman, Stephen Baldwin, DigitalTent.tech, Bobby A. Bailey, Bass, Joan Worthman, Luna Wolf Games, Aaron C., and Glenn Kelly. You guys make it super possible for me to keep making these videos. No matter what tier you're in, I thank you for supporting me on Patreon, especially those of you who've been with me since the beginning. You mean more to me than you could possibly ever know. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.